I remembered about Moskva. A month and a half ago, the United States Treasury Department imposed sanctions, and now Moskva has problems. It is interesting that on July 27th, Georgiy Chibisov, a top manager of the exchange, allegedly fell off his yacht and drowned. Doesn't it seem suspicious to you that it was the top manager of Moskva who became a victim? I recall that the Kremlin's problematic agencies also lost their top managers under strange circumstances. They fell out of windows, their blood clots broke off, or something similar. This is already a series of strange suicides or accidental deaths that involve the oil and gas sector. Representatives of Lukoil and several top managers of companies within Gazprom's sphere of influence. Such strange occurrences happen with a certain periodicity, once every few months. There is no reason to believe that groups from the Russian security services are not behind this. Obviously, the taboo on assassinations has been lifted. When people are killed en masse, as it happens at the front, death seems to be such a small thing that you don't even have to worry about it. The threshold for deciding that someone should be killed is extremely low. This is a terrorist state, there is no doubt about it. Unfortunately, I am not familiar with the problems of the Moscow exchange, so I can't go any further than general discussions. I don't really understand why this man could interfere with someone, but it is obvious that huge flows of money were going through the exchange. In today's Russia, where there are large flows of money, it is impossible for the Chekists not to get involved in this issue. I can tell you that for sure. So it's obvious that their interest was there. This is another signal to the Russian elites who hope to sit this one out. Maybe they will, maybe they won't, God knows. Abbas, also Putin, issued a decree. I understand the Kremlin has serious problems with the so-called military operation, starting August 1st, and interestingly enough, there is a definitive date. Until the end of the year, which is December 31st, there will be an additional payment of almost $5 for contracting out. This is a federal payment on top of the regional payments. Earlier, it was written that the amounts were different. In Moscow, one, now another. It is interesting that before they always raised the payments at signing, and now they say that they raised them, but only from the 1st to the 31st. Why such a framework in the Kremlin? I don't get it in my head either. You say that so many people volunteer to go to war. Yes, there's a lot of money there. Almost officially in the Duma, they are discussing the possibility of voting for barrier troops. These are the ones that prevent those who signed contracts for money to go to war in Ukraine from returning with weapons. Obviously, no one wants to fight, so they use all the mechanisms, the stick and the carrot. Those who cannot be reached by the stick are seduced by the carrot. Tempted by the carrot, they come to the front, see what is happening, sober up and realize that it is not worth any money, and try to escape. To stop them, you need a whip, a barrier unit. They are trying to plug all the gaps now, just to provide the front with enough cannon fodder. Until the last time, the regions were constantly raising their payments, and Moscow has already reached 2 million. The feds kept the original rate, handing over the right to send people to their deaths to the regions. Today, Putin signed a doubling of the federal component and set the ceiling at the end of the year. They are trying to hurry people up, saying, "Don't think it will be forever. Hurry up." As of the beginning of next year, the payout will decrease again. I think it has nothing to do with my actions, but with the logic that has already emerged.
Потому что после, значит, с началом следующего года выплата опять уменьшится. Значит, я думаю, знаете, это с чем связано? Не то, что с моими действиями, да, но просто, значит, это та логика, которая сейчас уже появилась. Я ее просто...
I just reflected her, was more of a mirror. About a couple of weeks ago, I made a joke in my Telegram channel. In the Moscow region, they increased the regional payment to 1.7 million. And I wrote that if anyone was thinking of going for that much money, don't be in a hurry. Soon those payments would be raised anyway, exceeded. It's a shame. If you're going to die, you should die for big money, not for pennies. Can you imagine the shame of those who were killed for $1 million? 6 months ago, they only paid $1 million. Now you can do the same thing for 1.7. I wrote this, and literally 3 days later, less than a week later, Moscow overtook the Moscow region. In the Moscow suburbs, it's up to 1.7, and in Moscow, it's up to 1.9. I wrote again, there is no need to hurry. Wait, they will soon raise it. This logic must have been picked up by the feds. They must have sensed that people are really guided by it, looking at the payout race, and are not in a hurry. They may have been in a hurry before, but now they've stopped. To prevent people from sitting around thinking that things will only get better from now on, Putin decided to set a limit. The payout will decrease again. If you want to sell yourself dearly, you have to hurry. That's how I took it. By the way, Abbas, even those who are going to fight in Ukraine themselves say that the Russian government is making ill-conceived moves. Recently, cell phones were banned to avoid showing locations, and many people have lost contact, can't get in touch, have started fighting worse. There is a lot of criticism now. And another thing, the one who gets 1.9 or 1.7 million rubles goes to the front, and the one who gets 1 million says, "Look, go take risks. You are paid twice as much money." This may seem ridiculous, but it can also seriously affect human relations.
Идет на фронт, а тот, кто получил миллион, говорит: слушай, иди, рискуй, тебе 2 раза больше денег платят, а я что? Ну, это тоже, да, это может быть смешно, но это тоже на человеческих отношениях может серьезно тоже повлиять.
Yes, relations there, as far as I know, are really wolfish. The law there, as they used to say in the Soviet Union, is a taiga, and the prosecutor is a bear. In general, the law there is a taiga. Either everyone is gnawed on or everyone is in the mud. So what you're talking about probably adds to this hostility and is another reason for internal conflicts. And fighting.